Hello, hello, hello. I brought somebody in because I saw something that I just thought was so incredible, and it shouldn't be, but it was. And so I called this young lady, it was the day after, and she was surprised to hear my voice, and I said, I would like you to come as my guest to TPUSA. You may have seen her around. I know she was on the stage yesterday. May I reintroduce you to Jeannie Beeman. So, we were backstage just a few minutes ago, and Jeannie said, I don't know what's happening. The reaction has been what?
Overwhelming.
Yeah. She said she didn't understand why everybody was asking her for a selfie. Can you explain what you're curious about, what you don't understand?
Because I'm just a normal person.
And that is why you're here.
Okay.
We were talking backstage, and I said, when I was young, when I was your age, when she was your age, there wouldn't have been somebody like this up on stage, because it was the normal thing to do. Now it's not, and I wanted to thank you for being normal. Thank you.
For being normal.
God bless you. Thank you.
Back off.
She told me that she has a lot in common. She understands Erica. She lost her husband. And she said there are days that she has to hold on to her chest because she feels like her heart's going to explode without her husband. So that's why she is who she is. She is a woman with great heart, great heart. So I have a ton to share with you, and honestly, I had a completely different speech that I was prepared to give you today until I started watching, and I last night started thinking about you and what you need to hear. I wanted to talk to you about history. I wanted to talk to you about the economy and what's coming. I wanted to talk to you about what is coming for Western civilization, and to warn you that today the times have changed and you are desperately needed, desperately needed. But there's something else that I think is more important that you need to hear. We must stop fighting with one another. It is important to stand for the truth, but people are not your enemies. Lies are your enemies. We each have a responsibility to stop and point out lies, to stop lies. But you can't stop lies, you can't stop darkness with more darkness. You can't stop hate with more hate. You only dispel the darkness of lies with the light of truth. A single candle will light up a room. If everything is dark, one cell phone will be seen everywhere in this dark room. You are that single candle. You are that light. And if you don't believe it, I understand. I do. I get it. I've spent a lot of time trying to think back to when I didn't have white hair, when I was your age, and what I thought and what I would be thinking if I were you. If I were you, and I'm 25, I was 1 when the World Trade Center came down. I would have no memory of that, and I certainly wouldn't have a memory of the United States before that. You'd have no idea what it was like to get out of your car in front of an airport and walk directly to the gate. You don't remember a time when you didn't have a cavity search just to go onto an airplane. You don't know of a time when you didn't have to have your iris scanned. Until, if you were born in 2000, you don't know of a time when this country wasn't at war or the world wasn't on the verge of global war. That is a frightening place to live. When you were 8 years old, the financial crash happened, and maybe your parents lost everything. But the big guys in New York, the big guys at the banks, they didn't lose everything. Nobody went to jail. And you and your family paid the price that none of them had to pay. Then, 2008, 2009, the cell phone comes out, social media comes out. It's supposed to connect us so we can talk to our friends, and it does just the opposite. It divides us, it changes us. Then 2020 hits, COVID happens. If your parents survived 2008, now they face COVID. And if they happen to own, let's say, an Ace hardware store, a local hardware store, what happened? They were shut down because their local hardware store was killing grandparents. But Home Depot was fine. Once again, you saw the entire system turned upside down, and the little guy gets screwed. Then, with nobody going to jail, you're also in school, taught all kinds of things. Men can be women, and women cannot be defined unless you're a scientist, I guess. You are also told, just study hard. Just keep your nose clean, just do the right thing, study hard, go to college, get a degree, keep your grades up, and you'll get a good job. Well, you did all of those things, and there are no jobs for you. Everything, if I'm 25 years old, I would think absolutely everything is a lie. I get it. So let me start with this. You are not crazy. You are not lazy. You are not imagining things. The truth is, the rules have changed. Promises have been broken. Institutions have failed. Banks were rescued while families like yours weren't. And you were told to follow a path that would guarantee security, and it provides none of that. But the most dangerous lie that you have been told wasn't that the system failed you. The biggest lie that you were told is that you don't matter. Here's the thing. I want you to understand. A broken system does not erase human agency. It reveals who still has agency. Every single generation since the beginning of time has inherited a mess, but only the great generations turn that mess into a mission, and that's your calling. America was never built for comfort. It was built for people who believed they could shape their own destiny. Previous generations had it different, but they didn't have it easier. They had world wars, they had depression, they had drafts, they had the plague, they had no safety nets, they had no guarantees. But what they had that you don't have is belief. Belief in God, belief in responsibility, a belief that there is a brighter tomorrow just over the horizon. They had that, you need that. Belief is what creates prosperity, not the other way around. And you have been fed lies to keep you powerless. And so many of your generation are following the natural path of somebody who believes they are powerless. You look to others to lead. You look for a leader. May I propose one? You are the leader. As I was watching As I was watching speeches yesterday, I thought to myself, what do any of us clowns who are up here have that you don't have? What is it that we have that you don't have? A platform? Build one. Charlie did. Build a platform. You don't have an understanding of history or God or economics or politics. Learn it. You have the world's library in your pocket. Learn it. The only thing that I have that maybe you don't have is white hair. That's the only thing that I have, and that comes from a long life of watching things play out over and over and over again. So the only thing that I have that you don't have is I've seen the pattern. You're in the first phase of your life, so you're seeing the pattern for the first time. But believe me, all of this crap will happen again and again and again. And when you have the white hair, you start to go, oh crap, this is a giant game. I wish I would have known that a long time ago. You need to know one thing. You hold every card you need. You have everything you need. Everything and more. You have your intellect. Your intellect, so you can now think, you can reason, you can learn. You're living in a country that today is still free enough to where you can ask questions and never stop asking questions, especially the uncomfortable questions. There is no such thing as a wrong question or a dangerous question. You ask those questions, but then you find the truth. You don't have truth given to you. No one is here. Don't take anything I or anyone else on this stage say as gospel, because I'm not Jesus. None of us are. You find the truth yourself. You can hear something, but then you prove it to be true yourself. Here's something else that you have that I think you dismiss. You're here. So if not you, who? If not now, when? The other thing you have that you dismiss is that you're alive. And that to me proves the fact God does not make excess people. You have a reason to be here. You have a purpose. There is a reason for you to be alive. God doesn't make excess people. You're not excess. You're the center of your life. I will tell you that I believe I'm 61. I believe 2 months ago, I discovered the reason why I was born. And I had planned on talking to you about that because it's really important. But you need to hear something more important than any of that I have to share with you. You need to believe in yourself. You need to recognize the power that you have. You don't need permission to begin a meaningful life. You have 3 levers of power that you don't understand that you have right in front of you every day. You have 1, internal power. No one can control your work ethic, your honesty, your discipline, your faith, or like Jeannie, your response to others. You own that. Don't let others dictate how you respond. You also have compounding power. The compounding power. Small, consistent actions every day will beat institutions every time because your skill compounds. Every time I met with Charlie, he was a different and better person. Every time he was smarter. He was deeper in with God. He was more successful. And towards the end of his life, it was compounding so rapidly that the changes were staggering. But he's the one who did it. He just chose to do it. Reputation compounds, integrity compounds, intellect compounds. Time is not on my side for compounding any of that anymore. But you have all the time you need to be far greater than anyone else you're going to hear speak today. The third thing you have is spiritual power. Meaning is not given by governments or markets. Purpose precedes prosperity. God doesn't create excess people. If you exist, it means you're needed. You are not born too late. You were born into this moment for a reason only you will find, and it requires courage to go out and find it and stand. You are not a victim. Spread the word. History has never asked a victim to save it, nor does history ask comfortable people to save it. History asks capable people to save it. You will discover, if you shake off the lie of victimhood, you will discover the glory of responsibility. When you take on responsibility, when you concentrate on responsibility, you will discover purpose. When you have purpose, cynicism falls away and your life becomes a calling. Concentrate on the first step, personal responsibility. Let me leave you with a scenario. We're sitting in here, and all of a sudden, the mic goes out, the lights go out. What's the first thing you do? First thing, we probably all gasp or laugh a little bit, it gets a little uncomfortable, and then you probably will pull out your phone. And there's the light. And you will look at your phone, and somebody at some point will realize there are no bars anymore. The lights go out. Not for a minute, let's say it's not a glitch. Let's say they go out and stay out. At first, the phones come out, and somebody will say, wow, this is weird. Then your phones die. Then the stores close. Then the sirens start. By tomorrow morning, if the lights went out right now and they stayed out, and it was out everywhere, by tomorrow morning, there would be a change in most people's eyes. And it would not be fear, it would be confusion, which is worse. When the system disappears, people don't ask the question, who's in charge? When the lights go out and stay out, people begin to ask the question, who knows how to live without the system? Some people will freeze. Some people will wait. Some people will demand answers. I want answers. Somebody's got to pay for this. And they'll be demanding answers from institutions that no longer answer. Others will just look around. Others will begin to look around and then check on neighbors. They'll begin to share food. They will organize quietly. They will not wait to ask for permission. They don't have or need special authority. They don't have official titles. They have something else, personal responsibility. And here's the part that matters. When the lights go out, that's when everyone will discover who they really are. No one will ask, who did you vote for? No one will ask, what did you post? No one will ask, who were you angry at? How angry did you get? Whether you're prepared to stand or not, that's the moment. And we're at this moment. The lights are flickering. I told you at the beginning, you're not crazy. Things are not the way they should be. The lights are flickering. So now, what do you do when the lights go out? You need to restore your confidence. The lights are flickering not just in markets and politics, but in belief, in confidence, in belief. You've been told the dangerous things over and over again, that when the system fails, you fail. It's not true. People matter more in those moments rather than less. And every great generation in history, they were forged in a moment when something big broke. Not when things were easy, not when things were guaranteed, but when people your age looked at one another, saw this giant mess they didn't create and went, "Oh, crap. We'll fix it. I'll take responsibility." That's not weakness. That is the highest form of power, because power is not the ability to control others. Power, real power, is the ability to control yourself when no one is watching. Power is telling the truth when lies are rewarded. Power is forgiving hatred when hatred is celebrated. Power is building when everyone else is tearing down. Hear my message to you. You were not born too late. You were born with everything you need. All you really need is belief in yourself, and from there comes courage. And courage is not loud. Courage is just getting up when you've been beaten down. Every time you fall down, you just get up again. That's what courage is, getting up one more time after you fall. That's it. Courage is required now because civilizations are not saved by governments. And people who understand their power, they fix things. That person that will fix things is you. So I urge you, please, leave here this weekend filled with one thing. If you take one thing away, is that you matter, that you count, that the ultimate power is there and it channels down to you, and you can accomplish anything. So go out and do what Charlie did. Live your life in a way that you are prepared for when the lights go out. Do not curse the darkness. Become the light that others will see by. We're counting on you. Thank you.